Hello students, today we are going to start with the fourth chapter of Social Science Standard 8. Earlier we have completed chapter 1 and chapter 3 of history. Now today we are going to discuss about chapter 4, that is of civics, and the name of your chapter is the Supreme Court. Earlier you have studied in 6th and 7th standard about the different levels of judiciary. Now today we are going to discuss about the Supreme Court. Supreme Court is considered to be the apex court for giving the judgment. The judgment which is given by the Supreme Court is the final judgment. So today we are going to discuss about it. Now the first question which arises in our mind is, why is law required? What is the need of law in the country? Why a country should have laws, why the country should have certain rules and regulations. So law is required for the safety and welfare of the people. When any citizen or institution breaks any law, a specific process is followed to address the issue. So why is law required basically? So it is said that it is for the safety and welfare of the people. If there are no laws, if there are no rules and regulations, then what will happen? There will be total chaos in the country. People will not follow any rules and regulations. Everyone will do the crime and then no punishment will be given. So because of that, law is required so that the citizen of the country can live a safe and secure life in the country. There is a hierarchy of courts to impart justice in our country. Now, as we have discussed earlier in your lower classes also, you must have studied that there are different levels for getting justice. So it starts with the Taluka court as the lowest court, succeeded by the district court, then the high court, and finally the Supreme Court. So the Taluka court is the lowest court. If you don't get satisfied with the judgment which is given in the Taluka court, then you can appear in the district court. If you are not satisfied with the judgment of the district court, then you can go to the high court, and if you are not satisfied by the judgment of the high court, then finally you can appeal in the Supreme Court. So the Supreme Court is the topmost court of a country. The judiciary is one of the most important organ of the government. Judiciary is kept independent from the legislature and executive. Now we have learnt earlier that there are three main organs of the government, that is legislature, executive and judiciary. We have learnt that legislature, it frames the laws, executive executes the laws, and judiciary sees that if anyone breaks the laws, then he or she gets the punishment. So these are the three main functions. But here it is said that judiciary is kept independent from the legislature and executive. So judiciary is an independent organ. Why judiciary is an independent organ? That we will see. Now what is the role of the Supreme Court? So as I said that the Supreme Court is the highest among all the courts in the nation. It came into existence on 28th January 1950. So the establishment of our Supreme Court was done on 28th January 1950. It holds the rights of confirming the fundamental rights granted to us by the Constitution. Citizens have the right to file an appeal directly in the Supreme Court if any of his or her fundamental rights had been violated. Now, any citizen or institution can file a petition in the Supreme Court to avail justice in the view of the interest. This is known as public interest litigation. Now, if you are not satisfied, if you are having any problem, whether it is related with your property or it's a criminal case or anything, then you can appear in the Supreme Court. But as I said earlier, there are different levels, that Taluka court is there, district court is there, high court is there, and then the Supreme Court is there. But there is one law also, that is PIL, that is public interest litigation. In public interest litigation, what happens, that if as a citizen, as an Indian citizen, if you feel that any of the fundamental rights of the citizens are being violated, then you can file a petition straight away in the Supreme Court, that is called public interest litigation, which is for the benefit of the public at a large scale, not as an individual, but PIL can be filed when you are thinking about a large number of people. The Supreme Court solves the dispute between the citizens and the government, between the states and between the center and the state. So, what is the role of the Supreme Court? The Supreme Court solves the disputes which are between the citizens and the government. If you are having any issues related with the government office, then if you file the case in the Supreme Court, it will be resolved by the Supreme Court. It also solves the disputes between the two states. If between the two states any problem is there, then that dispute is also solved by the Supreme Court. And between the center and the state, that means between the state and the center, that is our capital city Delhi, if any problem is there, then also the dispute is solved by the Supreme Court. Now, to understand this, let us study the Save Narmada movement of Gujarat. Here they have given you one example of Save Narmada project. We all know that we all are living in Gujarat, and in Gujarat only Narmada project was going on. So, this is an example about the Narmada project. There was a protest against increasing height of the Narmada dam above 110 meters near Navagam. Environmentalist organizations and NGOs from Madhya Pradesh and other regions were fighting for the rights of the tribals who would lose their land and habitat forever due to this project. Now, what happened actually? The people who were living on the river bank of Narmada, that was basically they were the tribal people. So, if the height of this Narmada project is increased to 110 meters, then the tribal people, they will lose their land and their house. So, a protest was raised against increasing the height of Narmada project, that the height of Narmada should not be increased. But the Supreme Court passed a judgment on 8th March 2006 to resolve this conflict between the two states. It is stated that in accordance with the rising population, it was necessary to carry out this project. There was a possibility of positive development in the environment and benefits to all the living beings due to the Sardar Sarovar Yojana. So, now the people of this Madhya Pradesh, the NGOs and the other organizations, they appealed in the Supreme Court against increasing the height of Narmada. So, Narmada Dam. So, the decision which was given by the Supreme Court was in the favor of the government instead of the NGOs. Why the decision was given in favor of the government? That by increasing the height of the Narmada Dam, more water can be stored and more people will get the water facility. So, the Supreme Court gave the justice in favor of the government rather than the people. So, that was in favor of the Sardar Sarovar Dam. The arid areas of Rajasthan, Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh would get water and the expansion of deserts could be kept under control. Proper rehabilitation of the tribals affected by this project should be given the top priority, and hence their fundamental rights could be protected. So, Supreme Court gave the proper decision. What decision was given? That the height of the Narmada Dam should be increased. Why? Because if the height of the Narmada Dam is increased, then the people of the three states, Rajasthan, Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh, the people of three states will get the benefit of the water which is stored in the Narmada Dam. But the tribal people, they should also not become homeless. उनके घर तो नहीं चले जाने चाहिए ना, जो ट्राइबल पीपल थे, तो उनके लिए क्या डिसीजन देंगे? So the Supreme Court said that these tribal people who are living in that particular region, for them new rehabilitation should be set up, कि उनके लिए रहने की नई जगह बना के देनी है. They should be given proper work also for earning their livelihood. So their rehabilitation was also done so that their fundamental rights can also be protected. So the Supreme Court gave the judgment which was balanced, where the people were also satisfied and as well as the tribal people, their fundamental rights were also saved. Now in the features that we have seen, that judiciary has been kept as an independent organ. So why is judiciary an independent organ? So we can say that if judiciary is not kept independent, then what will happen? The powerful, the rich people, they will influence the judges and the case may get disturbed. So to get proper justice, and the judges should not be forced to give judgment in favor of any one particular person, the judiciary has been kept as an independent organ. So it is said that when powerful person captures the land belonging to your family and you go to the court to get your property back, but the system is such that the powerful or the influential person can remove or transfer the judge from his or her post. In such a situation, the judge would favor the powerful person only. They have discussed one case here. Okay, boy, suppose you are only there in the situation where your land has been taken away by some powerful person. You are a poor farmer and your land is taken away by the powerful person, and if you appeal in the court, but the powerful person will give bribe to the judge, or the powerful person will make the transfer of the judge to some other court, and then the justice will be given in his favor. So in to avoid such a situation, the judiciary has been kept independent from all these things. So if judiciary is deprived of freedom, if powerful or influential people can control the judiciary, there would be no impartial judgment. So if you want impartial judgment, then the judges should be kept independent from everyone. No one can force the judge to give judgment in favor of one particular person only. So that is why judiciary has been kept as an independent organ. So that is why our constitution does not allow such kind of interference. That is why judiciary has been kept independent from legislature and executive. Thus, once the judges are appointed in the High Court and the Supreme Court, it becomes very difficult to expel them from their respective positions. If an individual feels that his or her fundamental rights are violated, he or she can go to the court. So this is the reason that judiciary is always kept an independent organ from legislature and executive, so that each and every person gets proper justice. No one should be deprived from getting the justice, and no one can force the judge to give the judgment in favor of one particular person only. So that is why judiciary has been kept as an independent organ. Now let us say that whether are the courts at various levels connected with one another. That the courts which are there, are they connected with each other? So yes, they are. To understand this, let's understand the procedure of filing a petition. If an individual finds the judgment given by the lower court not satisfactory, then he or she can file a petition in the upper court. As I told you in the beginning itself, that we are having different levels for the courts, that we have Taluka court, then district court, then high court, and then Supreme Court. So here we will see the connection between all the courts by one example. To understand this, let's discuss a case. Now see, we are discussing about a case where all the courts are interconnected with each other. So there was few houses in the southern direction where Ratlam municipality had constructed the road. A road was constructed by the municipality and there were some houses over there. Behind these houses was an old road leading to the government college. Near the junction of the old and the new municipality road ran a culvert of dirty water. Culvert means what? नाले जैसा जहाँ से गंदा पानी बहता है. So industries released dirty water infested with the chemical in this culvert. अब ये नाले के अंदर जो नया रोड था और पुराना रोड था उसके कनेक्शन जहाँ पे खत्म होता है वहाँ पे देयर वाज अ कल्वर्ट एंड देयर द इंडस्ट्रीज दे वर थ्रोइंग देयर डर्टी वाटर. It had become the source of a foul smell and mosquitoes. Now the dirty water was gathering in that culvert, so that used to give very bad smell, as well as mosquitoes were also there. Slum dwellers answered the natural calls by the sides of this culvert. Now the people who were living on that roadside, the poor people, they were that was a slum area, jhopadpatti area, and they did not have their own washrooms or toilets, so they used to go for the nature's call also near that culvert. The health department had failed in controlling the mosquitoes. Now the dirty water was there, even the people were going and giving their natural calls also over there. They were using it as a washroom also, toilets and everything. So that particular area was very dirty, and it gave the rise of mosquitoes, and the health department was also not able to control the situation. So the residents had repeatedly written application to the remove dirt around it, but the health department failed to take care of it. As a result, the residents appealed in the Taluka court. Now on one side the slum area was there, on one side of the road slum area was there, on the other side there were residence houses were there of the people, and in between there was a culvert. So due to that culvert, the mosquitoes were coming to the people who were residing in that houses near the roadside. So that people, they were very much fed up, the people were becoming sick because of the mosquitoes. So they first requested the health department to take some action to remove the mosquitoes and remove the foul smell, but the health department failed. So now the people were very much tired. So what did they do? The residents of that particular area, they filed a complaint to the Supreme Court, to the Taluka court. So here they have given the discussion, see full that the people, they appeared in the Taluka court first. So the municipality, what judgment was given by the Taluka court, that we will see, that the judgment was given by the Taluka court that the municipality and town improvement trust have failed in their duty of maintaining cleanliness. So both the institutions are ordered to clean the place with the immediate effect. Within 15 days the work of a closed drainage should be completed. Now the decision given by the Taluka court was that the municipality should cover that culvert. Drainage, proper drainage system should be developed and the culvert should be closed. But it is to be done within 15 days. That was the decision given by the Taluka court. Now the municipality challenged this verdict in the Ratlam district court. Now municipality said that it is not possible to cover the culvert within 15 days. So the municipality was not satisfied with the judgment of the Taluka court. So the municipality appeared in the district court. Now understand the case properly. First the people, they have filed the case in the Taluka court. Then the judgment was given by the Taluka court. So that judgment was not accepted by the municipality. So municipality filed the complaint in the district court. Now what the judgment was given by the district court, that the judgment of the Taluka court is declared to be unfair. District court agreed that okay, within 15 days it is not possible to cover the culvert and prepare the drainage system. So now the people were not satisfied with the judgment of the district court. So the residents challenged the verdict in the High Court. So now the people were not satisfied. So they filed the complaint to the higher court, that is the High Court. Now what judgment was given by the High Court? That for a closed drainage system 7 months time is given instead of 15 days. The pits should be filled with the soil to stop the water accumulation and mosquito breeding. All work should be completed within 2 years. So here the High Court has given the judgment that the culvert which is open, it should be closed within the time of 7 months instead of 15 days. So the High Court has given enough time to municipality that within 7 months you can complete the work, and within 2 years you have to see that the mosquitoes and everything should be removed from there. All the whole project should be completed within 2 years. So minimum time given was 7 months and maximum time given was 2 years, that within 2 years total cleanliness should be there in that particular area. So that time period was enough for municipality. Now Ratlam municipality was unhappy with the verdict and so it moved to the Supreme Court. Now Ratlam municipality, still it was not ready to complete the work in 2 years. They said that still it is not possible to complete such a big project within 2 years. So they went to the Supreme Court, the final court. Now what judgment was given by the Supreme Court? That the chemical and the dye plants which were responsible for the pollution should be closed with the joint effort of the municipality and the state government. Now see the decision. This decision was the final decision which was given by the Supreme Court, that you first find out the root cause. पहले root cause find करो कि ये dirty water आता कहाँ से है. So it is coming from the factories. So first that factories, the chemical and dye plants which are responsible, they should be closed. पहले तो you close down that factories, or they have to find out some other resource for throwing out their dirty water. That should be also closed, and then this drainage system work should also be done. So both the work should be done parallel. Then only you will be able to get a clean area. You will be get out reach of these mosquitoes. That problem will be solved. So this is how all the courts are connected with each other. Now here this is a very important question, that can any citizen appeal in the court? That whether anyone can go to the court or not. We have learnt that any citizen can appeal in the court for the protection of his or her fundamental right. But in reality what happens? That we know that I can also go to the court, you can also go to the court. Any person, whoever is an Indian citizen, if he or she feels that his fundamental rights are violated, then he or she can appeal in the court, in any of the court, whichever is eligible. But really is it happening or not? Really everyone is able to appeal in the court or not? So then it is no. Why? Because, but in reality poor people find it very difficult to go to the court. Now the rich people can go to the court because we have to pay the fees to the advocate also. But from where the poor person will bring the money for giving the fees to the advocate? So actually the poor people find it very difficult to go to the court, because the legal procedure requires lot of money and paperwork, but also it is very time consuming. The judgment which we get is not instant judgment. Sometimes it takes 10 years, 12 years, 15 years for getting the judgment. If you watch the news, you will come to know that some of the cases they get judgment after 25 years also. So it is a very, our judicial process is very lengthy process. We don't get the justice immediately, and it is it requires lot of money also. So that is why the poor people generally they are not able to file the case in the court. So for a poor person who is illiterate and incurring irregular income, it becomes really tough to go to the court and demand justice. So the poor people who is not having lot of money, who is a daily worker, who earns very less money every day, he or she cannot go to the court for filing justice. So here you can see the image of a labor. He is pulling a hand cart. Now for such kind of people, if they feel that their fundamental rights are being violated and he wants to get justice, then it becomes very difficult for a daily wage earner to go to the court and file a case. So for such type of people, this public interest litigation has been started in the year 1980, that is PIL, it is called public interest litigation. With this, the Supreme Court has made an effort that maximum people can reach up to the court for justice. Any individual or institution can file a case on behalf of the people from the deprived classes. Generally, deprived classes means what? The people who are financially very weak people, or are from the backward classes, they don't have the money to file a case. Then on behalf of them, any other person or any institution or NGO can file a case, that is called PIL, public interest litigation. If any of the fundamental rights are being violated, then the citizen can appeal straight away in the High Court or the Supreme Court. After 1980, PIL was used to bring justice to many deprived sections of the society. For example, PIL were filed to free laborers from inhuman labor or to release the prisoners from the jail in Bihar after the term of punishment was over. This is one example they have given you, that in Bihar jail some prisoners were there. Their time period was over of imprisonment, like 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. Their time period was over. They were supposed to be released from the jail, but they were not released from the jail because proper record was not maintained by the jailer. So then in that case a PIL was filed against that particular jail of Bihar, and then the prisoners were released from the jail because their term of punishment was already completed. So this kind of cases are held by the PIL. If the Supreme Court find, but now see, we can file the PIL on behalf of some other person, but if the Supreme Court finds any PIL regarding fundamental rights and its implementation inappropriate, then the court may punish the person or group of the people or the institution. Unnecessarily you cannot file a PIL against any person. If you will file a false PIL, झूठी आप कोई complaint डाल दोगे, then you will get the punishment by the Supreme Court. So it is not a kind of very game कि भी चलो I want to file a complaint against XYZ company or any institution, then I will file a PIL. Then you cannot do like that. It should be authentic, it should be true, then only you can file the complaint, otherwise not. Now let's watch a video related to Supreme Court.
The judiciary is a legal institution that resolves disputes and administers justice. The Supreme Court. The Supreme Court of India comprises the Chief Justice of India and a number of other judges appointed by the President of India. The High Court. Presently, there are 25 High Courts throughout India, including the National Capital Territory of Delhi. Some High Courts serve more than one state or union territory. For example, the High Court in Guwahati serves 4 sister states of northeastern India. In Jammu and Kashmir, the High Court was established in 1928. Annually, from May till October, the Chief Justice and the administrative wing of the High Court shift to Srinagar, and from November to April, the High Court headquarters shifts to Jammu. In 1966, due to the States Reorganisation Act, the state of Haryana and the Union Territory of Chandigarh came into existence. The High Court of Punjab was renamed the High Court of Punjab and Haryana. The Mumbai High Court has jurisdiction over the states of Maharashtra and Goa and the Union Territories of Dadar and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu. The jurisdiction of Madras High Court extends to Tamil Nadu and Pondicherry. Each High Court in India is a court of record, exercising original and appellate jurisdiction within its state or territory. District Courts. District courts in India administer justice at the district level. These courts are under the judicial control of the High Court of the state, Nyaya Panchayats. They are small law courts which are established to provide justice at the village level.
So I hope students you have understood the chapter properly. Once again read the textbook also and write the PDF in the workbook and learn properly for your test. Thank you and have a nice day.